And welcome into Coleman Today. I'm Debbie Wood, and along with me this morning is Mike Mullaney. We're at Goat Island Brewing, which is off of, I always call it Old Hanceville Highway, but tell us where we are, Mike.
We are at 1646 John H. Cooper Drive, so
Okay.
right off of the Old Hanceville Highway, just a little bit south of the jail.
Wonderful. Now, we are here this morning. Of course, we were out here several weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and there was nothing in the building, and we had the grand tour, and you sort of showed us the way things were going to be and where the cooler was going to be. And I walked in this morning, I'm like, wow, you guys have really been busy, because the metal studs are up for the big cooler, and that cooler is huge. Are you going to be able to fill it up?
Oh yeah, we'll fill it up with beer, no problem.
No problem, huh? And we're talking about the big kegs, the big kegs.
Right.
What size is that?
Both 5-gallon and 15-gallon kegs.
Okay.
So,
Now today and behind us, tell us what we're sort of looking at. This just got unloaded, and this thing is huge.
yeah, well, we've been waiting since April for this shipment that came in today. This is our final shipment of the actual brewing equipment. This behind us is one of the liquor tanks, which means we have a hot liquor tank and a cold liquor tank to feed the brewery. But what's outside and coming in is our actual brew house, where we have our boil kettle and our mash tun and all the rest of the equipment that's going to take to brew this beer.
Well, and someone recently, this week actually, said something about, is that a 7.5 barrel system? And I know you made the comment, no, this is a 30 barrel system. So what a difference. I mean, there's a big difference.
There is a big difference. I mean, every batch we make is over 900 gallons, so it takes about the same amount of time to make a 5-gallon batch of beer as it does to make 1,000 gallons. So it's a huge difference for us. And when we were deciding how big to go, we decided to stretch a little bit and go for the bigger system.
And I think you did the right thing. And of course, we're going to see some of the footage in just a little bit, but look at all the stuff that's around. One of the questions that I have, Keith and I were talking this morning, everything's on rollers, and it's sort of sideways, but how are you going to get that thing to stand up? How's that going to happen?
We're going to use cranes, and very slowly and carefully, we'll set them up in this area right here, where we've poured a concrete drainage ditch, so that when we do some cleaning and such, we'll be able to drain into that and won't have to squeegee all the time. Okay. But every one of these will be taken off of these rolling carts and set up vertically and set into place.
Okay, very good. Now, and of course, over here behind us is the trench that you were talking about. And so this is basically where all of the system will go. Is that correct?
That's correct. Right in this new concrete area that you see here, 40-foot by 25-foot area, that will be our initial brew house. And then we've got plans for an expansion of the exact same size, hopefully down the road.
Down the road, okay, on the other side. Let's talk about completion date, because everybody's getting excited, everybody's talking about it. We're already into November. What are we thinking?
Well, we're hoping, if every single thing goes right, which is very unusual,
Not going to happen.
that we could have beer by January. If not, sometime first of the year.
Okay,
So,
after the first of the year. And we talked about that earlier. There's 4 different beers that you will start out with. Is that correct?
Actually,
Or 5?
we'll start out with 2.
2,
but then
okay.
Shortly thereafter, we'll add to that. But the very first beers that we'll brew is the Richter's Pilsner
Okay.
and the Big Bridge IPA. That will be our two beers that will go. And then after that, we'll do the Colonel's Fest beer.
Okay,
And
which
those,
is wonderful.
Yeah, And we really haven't decided on the next 2, but shortly thereafter we'll have either probably the Copperhead Red and the Thrill Hill Vanilla Porter.
Okay. So actually, as you have one coming off of the system, you'll be able to start another one pretty immediately, because that'll be kegged.
To some extent, we'll be able to brew until we fill up all 4 of our fermenters.
Okay.
And then that stops it. But by that time, hopefully, the first fermenter then has been distributed out and we can brew again. So.
Okay, great. So we're looking at sometime, hopefully, if everything goes great, in January, and we'll be, as time goes on, of course, we'll be back out here again to get some more footage and talk to the guys and sort of keep you updated, and so you'll know when to put it on your calendar and make sure you come out. Now, you'll have a tap room so people will be able to come in and enjoy.
That's correct, yeah. The tap room is going to be in this section, be a bar right in front of that wall there, and we'll have a tap room. But we'll also, of course, be distributing to bars and restaurants all over town.
All over town, and hopefully throughout the Southeast eventually. Is that what you
Absolutely.
hope?
That's the goal.
That is the goal. So we're talking about Goat Island Brewing and off of the old Hansville Highway, and you'll just have to come by one day and just drive by and take a look and see where it's going to be. But in a big metal building, and all these guys are doing a super job, and we just wish them the best. So we'll tell you as time goes on. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.